Hey everybody, this is Dave with Blue Line Battle Sports, and today I just kind of wanted to go over building your HPA replicas. I have kind of a unique one. A lot of people want to ask why and how I built my particular replica. You guys have seen this in a lot of videos. I really never went over how I built this, but one of the main questions I get is, why did you build something like that? Because let's be honest, a lot of people who play outdoor airsoft, which is the only thing I have available to me, in the area. They typically don't build a speed soft style replica, which is what it is. This kind of what this is. I never intended to start out doing that way, but as time went on and ideas started going through my mind, I was like, you know what? Let me try and build one. So let's go over the why first, and then we'll go over the how, and we'll discuss, like, if you guys want to stick around long enough. We'll discuss like prices and things of that sort. Okay. All right. So the why. For those of you that have been following me for any kind of time, from like my days early on in California throughout now, I mean, I've been in the sport for 20 years, and with 20 years comes, age. So as I got a little bit older, I was like, I want something a little bit lighter that I can run around all day with. It's not going to slow me down as much. I don't need a ton of gear for it. I just want something simple, streamlined, but still really performs well. And I came across the carbon fiber bodies, honestly, just when I was kind of cruising around the internet and just looking at airsoft stuff. I was like, hey, those are really cool. Let me pick one up. They come in blue. I like blue. Right? Blue Line Battle Sports. So I was like, let me pick one up. And then what do I want to do with it? Do I still want an AEG? Do I want to put in an HPA build? Well, again, looking at this, I was like, I really do need an HPA build in this. So I initially started out with a Kythera and a full stock, which, I just thought it'd be kind of cool, kind of mil-sim, but not really because of the blue. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to build one, and I did enjoy that for a while. The Kythera had a problem with the speed trigger, because when it came to performance, I wanted a shorter trigger pull. Especially after seeing the videos from Mech Labs when they were introducing the Arc 1. The problem with the Kythera and a speed trigger is the sear in the Kythera is a stronger metal than your speed trigger, and it will eat your speed trigger for lunch, which causes other problems where the engine will roll and then it doesn't line up and the trigger doesn't work, and it's such a pain in the neck. If you're going to put a speed trigger on a Kythera, I wouldn't recommend it. Either that or you're going to be switching out your speed triggers every year. Count on it. It's going to happen. It's just they're not meant to do that. So when I got to that point, I was like, you know what? I want something faster and a higher performing replica. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get the Polar Star Jack and I'm going to drop it in here. So I did. But I do like binary triggers because I had it on an old AEG of mine. So I went and also added a Gorilla board, especially when the wires broke on the initial jack. So right now it's got a jack in here and a Gorilla board. But it still wasn't as light as I wanted it to be. AirTac Systems makes a really cool gearbox that I'll show you here in just a second. And essentially, they've removed most everything. Let me pull out this. There we go. That could have been a lot cooler. Sorry, guys. I could have made that look a lot cooler. Anyway, this particular gearbox has this ring up here that holds the engine. It's tightened in with some screws to keep it from moving and rolling around, and it also helps you align a little bit. And that's essentially what I put into this. So again, cut out all that gearbox weight. All of it was gone. There's no motors, just really something to hold the jack in place. And then the gearbox will come back a little bit here so that you can put this pin in and the grip to hold it steady. It's the most minimalistic gearbox you can possibly get. So let's put this back together. See, way cooler that time. So anyway, besides that, I also added some AirTac parts. Honestly, just initially for aesthetics, but then it turns out they're even lighter than the stock parts. I mean, these things are super light, and then the speed trigger is real sensitive. Like I can push the side of it, and it goes off. It's really nice. I also put an IGL in here from AMP just for durability. But when I went into this particular replica, I went in with a plan. I wanted something lighter, faster, and it looked really cool. It was kind of sort of on brand for Blue Line Battle Sports. And that's how this was born. So when I went into this initially, I didn't have a plan. I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to build what I want to build, and I wasn't happy with it. And so I ended up spending more money to make it what I wanted. So the first thing when you do a build, or when you want to build for yourself, is you come up with a plan and then you start looking at the parts that you need. Okay. So again, lighter, faster. So to break it down real fast, I had the carbon fiber body already, and I was like, that's cool, and it looks neat. So now, how am I going to match that? Well, the AirTag parts, pins, and the trigger guard, and all that. Okay, so I wanted those because I figured it was going to match the AirTag body. And while it's not the same blue, it does look good together. Then I went for a matte custom stock. The picture online showed it being the same color blue as this, but it wasn't. It was like this really weird light blue. So I ended up buying a carbon fiber wrap. I think it was just, I don't know if it was a misprint or if they just sent me the wrong one on accident, whatever the case was, but it wasn't the blue I wanted, so I ended up just getting a wrap for it instead of trying to go return everything. So that was an unexpected additional cost, but as long as you research your stuff, it shouldn't be a problem. I probably clicked the wrong box, knowing me. So that was done. I wanted an IGL that was going to last, so I didn't have to worry about that stupid plastic tube breaking. If you have any experience with those type of macro lines from like paintball, or you've dealt with airsoft long enough, you know they give out, you know they wear out, you know they're garbage long term. So this was a decent investment to make. All right, that was the plan, right? So I looked at everything, parted it out, figured it out, and then slowly purchased the pieces I wanted to purchase. You can't do it all in one go. Not all of us can anyway. I'm not one of them. So it was just a piece by piece thing, and eventually this grew into this. So right now I have exactly what I want. And that's the thing. Figure out exactly what you want, and then piece by piece put it together. But if you go into it without a plan, I'm going to warn you now, you are going to come up with some kind of Frankenstein thing that you're not happy with, and it's going to upset you. So that's that. This I had from another replica, and I just thought it looked cool, so I threw it on there. Wasn't really part of the plan, but overall I think it came out nice. This right now, this particular replica weighs less than the run cam that I put on here for my barrel shots. So that should tell you something. I mean, this thing is ultralight. It weighs less than a run cam. For real, I'm not making that up. It weighs next to nothing. You guys have seen it perform in some videos. It's extremely fast. It's got a binary trigger on it. I think I'm running about 23, 24 BPS on binary, which for fields that allow it is insane. The only issue that I had, I did put a max hop up in it because I heard it was the best. Research this because for some reason I'm running a Maple Leaf 75-degree bucking in this with the max hop up with the flat nub on it. And for whatever reason, the Lancer that I did this, the carbon fiber Lancer that I just recently reviewed, that hop up outperforms this one. It's a max hop up with a 75-degree bucking and a 601 inner barrel. And it's getting outperformed in both range and accuracy by a stock Lancer with a hop up, with a stock Lancer bucking, with a stock Lancer barrel. And I don't understand why. So if anybody in the comments knows why, man, like hit me up because I'm at a loss. But a stock Gen 3 replica, which people bag on a lot, and you guys need to stop that because Lancer produces really good products in my experience. I'm two for, actually, I shouldn't say I'm 2 for 2. I actually had Gen 1 rental, I had a Gen 1 rental fleet when I ran Arc Airsoft in California, and they never broke. So I think I'm like 11 for 11 of Lancer replicas that are on point. Just thought I'd let you guys know that. Yeah, make it make sense. I don't understand why $100 barrel hop up upgrade. No, actually, no, $150 barrel hop up upgrade thing is getting outperformed by something stock that people bag on all the time. I really don't understand it. Anyway, I digress. Come up with a plan, figure out your payment plan for it, build what you want, build the dream gun that you want. That's how I did this. I told you I was going to get into prices a little bit. It's not cheap, okay? So this started out as a combat machine. They're running about $200 now. You're between 110, 120, I think, for the carbon fiber body. Again, max hop up 70, bucking 20 or 15, barrel 65, 115 for the stock. Like, you know, engines another $200 or $300, $100 for the gearbox. You know, you're pushing over $1,000 with this. Okay, so it's not a cheap build by any stretch of the imagination. These are not a cheap build, but in the long run, if you do it smart and you do it easy, and again, just to go back with the Lancer, you're already halfway there, guys. Like, I mean, in all seriousness, 285 out of the box. Yes, it's heavier because the stock, the motor, and the grip and the full gearbox in here right now, but you're already halfway there. Like, I mean, this isn't carbon fiber by any stretch of the imagination. I did put a different stock on here, but you know, that's a metal buffer tube. So if you still want all that on there, it's going to be a little heavier than what I have. But you know, you've got the body, you've got the pretty blue parts. You know, you're already there. I mean, just drop in your HPA engine of choice, and you're set. So, these are going at 285, and then, like I said, this hop-up set is outperforming that one, and I'm really mad about it. But, 285, and then you drop in, let's just say your engine set up completely 400, you're at 685, and you're where the other one's at. So, can be done cheaply, if that's what you want to do. If that's your goal, is to have something like this, then that, obviously, that, obviously that's going to be your go-to. That does way more than this. But again, like, if this was your goal, which it is mine, you have a head start now with that particular product. All right, so to sum up, I wanted something like this, so I came up with a plan. I wanted the lightest, fastest, best performing replica I could possibly get that looked cool. Then I found the carbon fiber parts and went, I'm going to do it all in carbon fiber. Then piece by piece, I collected the parts that I needed until I had it. And that's really all there is to it. Just as a side note, HPA can get very, very expensive if you just jump in and you're not paying attention to what you're doing. So, especially when you're doing a ground up build, like nothing on this except for the lower receiver and the grip is stock. Everything, and I mean everything in this replica has been completely rebuilt from scratch. So, I mean, honestly, if you're going to do that, you might as well just go find a G&G lower. They're on the internet. You can get them. I think they're either that or Lancer, because these will work with Lancer too. I think they're running about $75 for a G&G Lancer, maybe even less. I don't know. It depends on where you're getting them from. Lancer lowers are cheap too. They're not expensive. And then you don't need the pins or nothing because you're going to go ahead and buy them anyway. If that's, again, something that you wanted to do from the ground up. Just figure out your plan. Figure out how much it's going to cost. Figure out how you're going to afford it. Figure out figure out your payment plans. Are you going to use PayPal, Blue Credit, whatever, or are you just going to, as you can afford, buy pieces? That's the best way to do it. That's how I built it. I'm super happy with this. I'm not changing this. I will probably buy airsoft stuff here and there just because I like to. I actually have a PDW that I'm working on at the moment. It's in the planning phases. So my thought process on it is, do I want it milsim or do I want it walk on? So I'm kind of in that spot right now where I'm figuring out what I want to do. Then I'm going to go ahead and start piecing it out and slowly building it bit by bit because I have to. Replica first, then the body, start cutting weight down here and there where I can, and then the engine, which will most likely be a Nexus. They're fantastic so far. If you want to see what a Nexus is all about, check my videos on the Nexus or on the build that I did with the Nexus. And you'll see my ideas for that. But again, going for a PDW because I want one. And the Nexus cycle at 25 BPS, which is insane when PDWs carry about 120 rounds per mag. So we'll see how that goes. That should be exciting or a huge waste of money, and it's going to really make me upset. I don't know which yet, but we're going to figure it out. But like I said, that's the thing. When you plan these things, you figure these things out. And then when you figure these things out, you start to buy. And then when you start to buy, you start to build. That's really important or you're just going to waste money. So again, guys, this is Dave with Blue Line Battle Sports. If you like these kind of videos, please hit me up in the comments. Let me know that you like these kind of videos. I'll do more gear reviews. If you don't, also hit me up in the comments. Be like, I prefer gameplay videos or something. I just want to see where you guys are at so I can bring you the content you guys want to watch. Also, if you would, help out the channel. Hit a like and subscribe for this so that the algorithms start picking me up because we're still a small channel. We're growing. Till then, this is Dave with Blue Line Battle Sports. Hope to see you guys out on the field.